Welcome back. Tonight I'm making a yam porridge. That is an African yam. It's not the sweet potato that we're used to in the US. So that's what a yam looks like. I'm just going to cut off a chunk of it. I'm going to peel it. That's what the inside looks like. But before I get to peeling it, I'm going to run through the ingredients for our porridge real quick. For my proteins, I'm using fish. That is Dover sole fillets. You can use whatever fish you like. I'm also using some shrimp. I have in my dish there my power greens. They look like that because they were in the freezer. I'm using a 1/4 cup of palm oil. I won't use all of it. I'll show you how much I use. And then in that dish I have 1 teaspoon of ground crayfish, 1/2 teaspoon of curry, 1/2 teaspoon of seasonal, and 1/4 teaspoon of thyme. I'm using 1/4 of a red bell pepper, 1 tomato there, but I'm using 3/4 of it, 1 small habanero, 1/4 onion, and because I like my porridge a little sweet sometimes, I'm using 1/2 of a semi-ripe plantain. You can leave that out if you don't want it. So I'm going to go ahead and peel my yam. That's how I peel my yam. Just take off all of the skin and then clean it up. And then I'm going to rinse it and just cut it into pieces. I like to cut them in big chunks. I did cut off an extra piece just to give you an idea. That's going to feed about 2 to 3 people depending on who's eating it. So I'm just going to cut my yam into pieces. Like I said, big chunks. Add my palm oil. Like I said, I won't be using all of that, so I just use, that's a teaspoon I have, eating teaspoon, and I just put 2 or about a 1.5 heaping of that. So you can see that it already has a good color, so there's not really any need to use too much oil. So I'm going to let that oil cook into the yam and plantains for another 5 minutes, and then I'm going to add my proteins, my fish and my shrimp, and this is where I'm going to add some additional salt. I'm going to use about a 1/2 teaspoon of seasonal, and I'm just going to sprinkle that over my fish and shrimp. And you don't want to overcook your fish or your shrimp, so 5 minutes we should be good to go. So I'll just cover that and let it do its thing. And now I'm going to add my greens. That is not enough greens, so I'm going to grab some more from the freezer. Add a